for listening to Inside Real Estate with Kim McCarty. With over 20 years of experience, Kim McCarty specializes in the North Texas market and will guide you through the complicated world of real estate.
All right, this is a very special episode of Inside Real Estate with Kim McCarty and the McCarty Group Realtors. If you listen to this podcast on a regular basis, you know Kim does a great job on each episode. Well, she has a 13-year-old nephew named Myles, and she told me that Myles is a sports encyclopedia. So I got to spend 30 minutes with Myles. This 13-year-old is well on his way. He knows exactly what he wants to do. He wants to be a general manager of a sports franchise one day. And when you listen to this episode, you'll understand that he just might do it. So let's go and get started with Myles and Friedo. Myles, your aunt has told me that you're just like a sports encyclopedia.
Yes, some might call me that.
As we record this, I don't know when you're going to be listening to it, but as we record it, we're in the shelter in place, the coronavirus, and right in the midst of it. Have you been staying at home all the time?
Yes, sir, I have.
So what are you doing at home?
Just trying to work out, get in shape, and trying to find stuff around the house, like chores to do.
Seriously?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Wow, okay. That's impressive. Do you play sports?
Yeah, I play basketball mainly.
Okay.
And a little bit of flag football.
Cool. And how tall did you say you were?
4'8".
So you point guard?
Yes, sir.
All right. Cool. Okay. Now, what are your favorite sports?
Basketball, football, golf.
Are you a good golfer?
I'm a decent. I
Really?
just started a little bit, but yeah.
Okay.
I have a garage net, so I get to hit some balls.
Okay, so you watched the NFL draft this year for sure, because that's really the only live sporting event.
It's the only thing on.
Yeah. So what'd you think?
I thought it was good. No surprise for the first 3 picks, in my opinion. And then, yeah.
So what did you think of the presentation of the coaches being in their basements and all the owners in their
I thought it
houses?
was good. It was good, especially since, Goodell has been in his basement.
Are you not a Goodell fan?
I mean, yeah, I think I am. I'm not a Patriots fan, so I guess I'm a fan.
That's good. You're a Broncos fan, I see behind you. Broncos, Longhorns, and Jayhawks, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you could go to one sporting event of those 3, which one would you choose?
Can it be like past or present or what?
Well, let's do president. Like your dad comes in and says, "I'm taking you to one game." Which one do you want to go to?
Probably Allen Fieldhouse game.
Okay.
Because the atmosphere is crazy there.
Okay. How about the past?
Probably Super Bowl 50.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Where'd you watch Super Bowl 50?
In my house. With my dad.
Has that been your favorite Super Bowl so far?
Yeah.
What's the first Super Bowl you remember? Who was playing?
Giants, Patriots, 2012, I think.
Okay. Cool. So how old were you then?
6.
Okay. Okay. Get back to the draft. What do you think of the Broncos draft?
I think they did good. They went out and got 2 receivers. One, I think they got a speedster and they needed, and they got a good route runner, Jerry Jeudy.
Mm-hmm.
And they got Lloyd Christianberry's good center, and they got that tight end to get Drew Lock another weapon.
Okay. That's going to be my next question for you. What do you think about the quarterback?
I think he's good. I like him because he wears my favorite number, and I like his swag. And, yeah, I think he's a franchise quarterback for us.
You think he's a franchise quarterback?
Yes, sir.
All right. Because, the Broncos they've been trying to get one for sure.
Yeah, Paxton Lynch sucked for us. So, yeah, I'm glad we got rid of him.
Mm-hmm. And the Cowboys were trying to get, because I follow the Cowboys, and the Cowboys were trying really hard to get Paxton Lynch in that draft.
For sure.
And,
yeah. Do you think Dak's holdout's going to last or what?
I think that, no, it's not going to last, but I don't think they're necessarily going to sign him to a long-term deal right now. I think he'll play under the franchise tag and make lots of money and then see what happens next year. Because there's so many questions with the NFL and the salary cap and what their revenue is going to be like this year that I'd be really surprised unless Dak is really willing to compromise, or more specifically Dak's agent is really willing to compromise. I don't necessarily think there's going to be any long-term signings right now. Because hey, I don't know what you think. Are you worried about this virus?
I mean, not really. I think the media is just making it such a big deal. But yeah.
Okay. You think the media is making a big deal about it? I agree with you. But let me ask you this. Would you go to a Broncos game right now, knowing what you know, sitting next to 80,000 people?
Probably not. Because I don't want it to be hurtful for the players to where they're thinking about it constantly.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, I'd just be worried
Until they
about...
get fans in there, they shouldn't broadcast football.
Whoa, why do you say that?
Because it brings energy, like Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Like they get, I think I looked at a stat the other day. They get the most false start penalties in the NFL, so because of that atmosphere.
Yeah, but don't you want to watch on TV even if there's no fans? Give you something
for
to watch?
sure, everybody does. But I mean, to go to a game, not really.
Okay, so how many games have you been to? NFL games?
3.
So you live in Austin. You've been to 3 NFL games. I'm assuming at least 1 or 2 Bronco games.
All 3, I think, have been Broncos.
All 3? In Denver?
Yes.
Okay, so is that the only professional NFL stadium you've been to?
I've been into the Cowboys for like March Madness.
Okay, yeah, okay. How old were you then?
Maybe it was 2013,
Yeah.
so like 7.
Okay. How about Longhorns games? You've been at? You go to one of
Yeah,
those?
I've been a couple here.
Okay. And have you been to Allen Fieldhouse?
Oh yeah, I have.
Have you really? How many times?
I have 3 times.
Wow. I've never been there. I'd love to go. So what's the atmosphere like there?
It's super loud. Okay, here I got a question for you.
Okay.
CeeDee Lamb. What are your
Yes.
thoughts?
You know, I think a lot of people were surprised that he fell to the Cowboys. I wasn't. Really, I think it's a great pick for the Cowboys. I think it's a fantastic pick because, you know, the truth of the matter, you asked about Dak Prescott earlier. I don't know how you feel about him. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a solid quarterback, but he's not going to be the reason the Cowboys win. I think if you put enough people around him, then they can definitely win, but he's not going to be the single-handed reason the Cowboys win. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree. I think they have the parts. Just, I mean, the coaching staff needs a little work, I think, but I don't know too much about the Cowboys. All I know is that they got Dak and Zeke's a beast, and they got new coaching staff.
Yeah. And the coaching staff, I think, is a huge deal. A lot of people give Jerry Jones a hard time about being a bad general manager. And that may be true, but I think the worst part about him as a general manager are the coaches that he's picked. Mm-hmm. Jason Garrett was a mediocre coach at best, and you're probably the same way.
Yeah.
I hate it when I'm watching a football game and a coach makes a stupid decision.
Oh, me too. I hate it. Like, I think it was Vance Joseph was our coach, and he just conservative player. And we had like 4 running backs on our roster. I was like, who the heck's going to run the ball? And Jason Garrett, he's just conservative, never chucks it, I guess. But I mean, once or twice a game.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you're an NFL coach, you can't be the reason your team ever loses a game.
Oh, for sure.
And there were several times, and if you watch every NFL team too, coaches will make bad decisions, but you just can't make bad decisions on a consistent basis at all. And that's something that Jason Garrett, I think, did. And I like Jason. Jason's a good guy. He may be a great coach for 6 days of the week, like during practice and organizing and stuff, but then on game day, just not a good coach.
No.
What'd you think of Wade Phillips?
I thought he was awesome.
I
you know, just brought heat to Tom Brady, and I thought that's how you beat Brady. Just give him pressure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here's my question for you. That's what I want to ask you. Are you watching this Michael Jordan documentary on ESPN right now?
Oh, for sure.
How much did you know about Michael before that documentary?
I knew he was the greatest, but I never really watched him. A couple of YouTube highlights, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. So do you watch a lot of YouTube right now?
Yeah, I do. Just to keep me motivated.
Okay, so what are you watching on YouTube? What kind of things do you watch?
Like mixtapes of like my favorite basketball players.
Awesome.
And a lot of like ESPN and stuff.
Yeah, because obviously when I was your age, we didn't have YouTube. We barely had ESPN when I was your age. And I was telling someone the other day how cool it would be if I was a kid again. What a big sports fan I was to have access to everything that you have access to.
Yeah. And I've been playing like a lot of video games to
what do you play?
Like sharpen my mind on like football, because like you can see everybody that you know.
Oh, so what are you playing? Like Madden?
Madden.
Really?
Yeah, and I try like doing a GM in like 2K. And like being a general manager for a team.
Wow. Okay, and you can do all that in Madden now, obviously.
The general managing part in Madden's not that good, but in 2K it's awesome.
Okay. What do you want to do when you grow up?
General manager, some analytical parts in like football or NBA, because I'm like smart too. I like math. Mm-hmm. So I thought I think that would be fun, like to do statistics for a team, football or basketball.
Absolutely. And I was going to say that's the future, but that's the present. They're really getting into analytics now, and the old school is fighting it. Old school coaches, especially in baseball.
Like the Moneyball. I've seen that. Maybe it's good. Mm-hmm. And I think the Ravens just hired like a guy from Harvard.
Yeah.
Who like tells them to go for it on fourth down and whatnot, and they converted it pretty nicely last season.
Okay, man. Tell me, what are your thoughts on going for it on fourth down and going for a 2-point conversion?
In Madden, it's all you do. I mean, you could be on the 5-yard. You're on 5-yard line. You still go for it. But I'm not a huge 2-point guy unless it's like you're down by 1 and it's a tie game and 2-point conversion, you win the game. Mm-hmm. I could do that, but go for it if it's like fourth and short.
Amen. I got in trouble, not in trouble, but controversial when I was doing the show on ESPN, that I actually said that if I was an NFL general manager, I would not carry a punter on my roster. And what I would do, because I'd say roster spots are so important that I can find a linebacker, someone who, one of my 53 guys, he can punt the ball, because the truth of the matter is I'm not going to be punting the ball that much. Coaches, and they're starting to do it now. Go for it on fourth down a whole lot more. But gosh, well, you even remember, if you've been watching sports, football for the last 5 years, 5 years ago, coaches would hardly ever go for it on fourth down unless the situation dictated. But now they're understanding that if it's 4th and 2 and I've got the ball on the 50-yard line,
defense is worried. Yeah. They're on their heels. I can pick this up.
And the other thing too is that if you need to get 10 yards, it's a whole lot easier to get 10 yards on 4 downs than it is 3. So if you have that mindset, like you were talking about, and you know that you're going to go for it, you're going to use that 4th down, it opens you up to do all sorts of things on downs 1 through 3. If you know in advance, I'm going to use 4th down to try and get it first.
But of course, if you're Jason Garrett, you're conservative, so you don't do it.
Exactly. And these coaches, they coach scared. They're scared. Their job is to keep their job, and they know that if they take a risk and it fails, that there's going to be a good chance that that's going to look bad for them and they'll lose their job. So they coach scared.
Yeah.
But I think the analytics is coming into it where the coaches are understanding, you know what, it's acceptable to go for it on 4th and 3. When back in the day, there's no way a coach would go for it on 4th and 3 at all. So I'm glad that 2K and Madden is teaching the future general managers of the league analytics, because you can't ignore the analytics. And a lot of coaches just completely, especially in baseball, over the past few years, they've completely they're managers that just refuse to look at the analytics part of it.
Yeah,
you can't do that. It's a fact. So where did you watch the draft? And did you watch it with other people?
I just watched it with my dad. My mom and sister just watched the movie, and we're like, well, close the doors. We're good.
Did you watch the whole thing? All the way through? All the rounds?
I played a little bit of golf with my dad, so I didn't watch a little. I only watched like a little bit of day 2.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I watched like 4th through 7 rounds in the first round.
Okay. Basketball, college basketball or pro basketball, what's your best? What's your favorite?
Probably college basketball.
Okay. Cool. And obviously the
Jayhawks. But like to see a game, college basketball too.
Without a doubt.
I like March Madness a lot.
Uh-huh. Who's your NBA team?
Nuggets and Nets. Kevin Durant's my favorite basketball player, so I have the Nets. And then I like Denver, so the Nuggets. I watched like the 2012 NBA Finals. Okay. And up until that point, I watched the Thunder and the Heat. And it was between them two, LeBron and KD. Uh-huh. And then I just liked red and blue as a kid. And then I saw KD, and he was like my underdog, right? And then I figured out he went to Texas, and I was like, oh, shoot, I like him. And they're local, and I'm not really a huge college football guy, but hey, if OU and Texas are on, I'm cheering for Texas.
Of course you are. For sure. Okay, so are you taking any steps towards your ultimate career choice? Are you taking any steps right now into becoming a GM or trying to figure out how to get involved?
Not really. I think it's just more of connections. I mean, people like you.
Yeah.
I mean, just connections.
You're a smart kid.
Mm-hmm.
Do you miss school?
Yeah, I miss seeing my friends in person.
Mm-hmm. Have you been home?
I mean, online learning's fun.
Have you dominated online learning?
Yeah, I have.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Are you getting outside at all?
Yeah, a little bit. Shoot some hoops here and there, work on some dribbling. Throw the football to my dad a little bit, yeah.
Cool. Do you think you'll be back in school in the fall?
Probably.
Okay. Are you going to be playing any sports? Like organized?
Basketball. There's football and cross country, but I can't do football, so I have to do cross country. Mm-hmm. And then golf in the spring I was going to do, but then it got canceled, so I'm looking forward to doing that next spring.
All right. And you said you have a net in your garage?
Mm-hmm.
Do you hit balls every day?
I try to.
Awesome. That's great. Would you rather study or hit golf balls?
It depends what subject.
Wow. Okay. What's your favorite subject? Math? Who had the worst draft in the NFL this year?
Ooh.
What do you think of Green Bay picking a quarterback?
Oh, Green Bay for sure. I forgot. My bad. I totally blanked out. Yeah, that was definitely Green Bay. I mean, they didn't get one receiver, and they better get a receiver next year because Jamar Chase is legit. And they got that Waddle kid coming out from Alabama who's pretty decent too. So they should pick a receiver, but for them not taking a receiver in this year's draft is kind of stupid.
You know what? You just did something that I really like about the NFL draft. It's kind of a goofy thing.
Yeah.
But you just referred to a guy that is at least 5-6 years older than you as a kid.
Yeah.
And that's what we do in the draft. Everyone's just, hey, that kid out there. And it doesn't matter how old you are or how much older the kid is than you call him a kid. I like that.
Yeah.
Who had the best draft?
I thought we did good, but I think the Vikings did really good too.
Yeah, they did.
They got some of my favorite players that I wanted. Mm-hmm. Like that Cleveland tackle I kind of wanted. Justin Jefferson I really loved. Yeah, I thought they did good.
Now, I didn't get time to watch this whole podcast, and it's probably one of your first, but your aunt sent me a video of you and your co-host breaking down, was it point guards in the NBA?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So how deep can you go? Like,
I don't know.
Like if I threw out an NBA team, could you tell me who their starting guard? Let's do this.
Yeah,
Let's do
probably.
this. Name as many LA Clippers as you can name.
Like previous or right now?
Right now.
Paul George, Leonard, Montrezl Harrell, Lou Will, Patrick Beverly, Landry Shamet, what's his name? Patrick Patterson, maybe? No.
Okay,
I think it blanks out. But
do the same thing.
I look at 2K a lot. So yeah.
Do the same thing for the Blazers.
I'll look at that after I'm done with this. I got you.
Do the same thing with the Blazers.
Blazers?
Yeah.
McCollum, Lillard, big old contract, Evan Turner, Aminu, Nurkic, Whiteside.
Okay, so could you name at least 5 players on every NBA team?
Probably.
Wow. Okay. How about baseball? Same thing?
Oh, I hate baseball. I'm sorry. I don't know that.
Why do you hate baseball?
It's just boring to watch. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with golf, though. I mean, I've played baseball a little bit. Not organized, though. I've played, kickball. It's kind of fun. But never played baseball. Okay,
I'm going to try this on you, okay? Because I used to do this a lot. Tricking up sports and coming up with one rule that would make the game a whole lot more fun to watch. For example, in hockey, my idea was to, with 2 minutes to go in each period, you throw out a second puck. So they're playing with 2 pucks on the ice. So do you have any rule changes that you think would make baseball or any other sport more interesting?
Move the 3-point line back.
Back, okay. And still count it for 3?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm with you on that. I think they'll eventually do that too, especially in college.
Mm-hmm. They already moved it back, but still.
How about this? An automatic win circle in basketball. meaning that at every court has a randomly selected little circle that can be like on the free throw line on the opposite side of the court. And if you hit a shot from there during the game, it doesn't matter what the score is, you automatically win the game.
That would be weird.
Yeah,
I mean, that kind of defeats the purpose of basketball in a way, but I think that would be entertaining to watch because you would love to see Curry just do it. Exactly. I mean, I could see Jason Garrett not doing it because
don't
for
take
some
that
conservative
chance.
reason, but yeah.
No, let's not take that. But if you're down by like 23 points, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, there you go.
5 minutes left, why not?
What's your best sports moment from you competing? You yourself.
Oh, when I competed?
Yeah.
Scoring 8 points in like 3 straight possessions.
All right. Cool. What's your best? Do you actually play golf? Like, what's your best?
I kind of just started.
Okay.
I mean, like I've played like just putting with my dad at the golf course, but like actually playing like the whole course thing, I just started that.
When did you get so into sports and like the general manager and the analytical part?
Just experimenting with 2K and Madden. Then I was like, oh, shit, this is a real job. I can do this in reality. No, but it's fun in 2K because I turn off like recently signed and restricted like the waiver. So like once I sign like a rookie, you can't trade him for like a certain amount of days or weeks. But if you turn that off, you can like say, okay, if I trade for this guy, then I can get rid of his big old contract and trade him in like 0.2 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me ask you this.
So yeah, that's fun.
This is something I don't play Madden that much, especially now. But one of the things that I always said about specifically Jason Garrett, because I think Jason Garrett was an awful game manager. He couldn't make decisions on the fly. I think that if you gave Jason Garrett a week to make a decision, he'd make the right decision. But unfortunately, in an NFL game, you got like 15 seconds to make a decision.
Yeah.
So I would say, and my co-host hated it because he was really old school. I said, if I was Jerry Jones or if I was any NFL owner, the minute the season ended, I would force my coach to go into a room and play at least 10 games of Madden every single day to sharpen his skills as a coach, to figure out how to handle game situations. Do you think that would work? Do you think that's a good simulation for a head coach? Because you just pointed out how it's probably a good simulation for a general manager to kind of learn.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, I would always say too,
I think this is where it could come in handy. Like it's cool in like Madden because it's up to date contract. So like Dak, you can re-sign him, and if I don't re-sign him, I can see how much cap I have left, and I can sign up for this much and see how much cap room I have. That way, I can look at the free agents and see who signed and who didn't, and see how much available in cap I have.
I think that would be awesome. It's a great simulator, like a professional pilot for big airlines. They've flown planes for decades, but they still go in a simulator and practice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Do you play fantasy sports?
Oh yeah, Matt. Fantasy football. That's me and my dad's. Okay. It's like 3 straight win seasons.
Who makes all the decisions?
Kind of both of us.
Do you really?
But like,
okay.
I'm always like, don't get him, and he's like, okay, and it ends up panning out. But he's good. He's good.
Okay, you know what? Before we wrap up, I think I may do this. Okay, because I don't really play fantasy sports, but everyone wants me to play in their leagues and stuff. So maybe I'll hire you as my general manager.
With all due respect, I like it.
That way I don't have to deal with anything. I've got my staff on it.
Yep.
Okay, we'll do that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Have you published any podcasts or anything? Is there a place?
It's all fun with my friend.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, we don't need that.
Okay. You don't? Because maybe we can get you hooked up.
As long as I get a general manager spot, I'm good. I like it.
Have you chosen a name for your podcast?
His name is M, or my name is M, and his name is J, so we call it the MJ Sportscast.
Uh-huh.
So,
cool.
But I was thinking like move the sticks, but then we also talked about football or basketball, so we're just like the MJ Sportscast.
Okay. Okay, we need to figure something out because that could be a way you make a name for yourself as you're trying to be a general manager or something.
Yeah, the Friedo Nation one's good.
There you go. All right, I like
Like
that.
whenever I heard my aunt say it, I was like, free donations or, Yeah.
All right, well, we'll hook up and I'll get you to general manage my fantasy football teams. Awesome.
All right, for sure.
Okay, cool. It's been great talking to you.
All right, it's been awesome talking to you too.
All right, hope you enjoyed that. And after we finished recording, I did work out a deal. Myles is going to be the general manager of one of my fantasy football teams this season. So I look forward to working with Myles, look forward to possibly recording another episode with him. And I thank you for listening to this special edition of Inside Real Estate with the McCarty Group and Kim McCarty.
Thanks for listening. Please be sure to share this episode with your family and friends. If you'd like more information about Kim, just go over to her website, themccartygrouprealtors.com, or give her a call at 214-662-9308.